how do you wipe yourself? Have you got a towel in your car or what? No, I don't have a towel. I'm just using the seat covers. Sometimes the wipers. Okay, how do you comb your hair? Because you just come in here shining with smart hair. Oh, I'm just using one of my spanners, number 17.
For many, the Smithsonian Folklife Festival is a ritual of summer. Held on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. at the end of June and into July, the festival is perhaps the world's largest organized cultural conversation. Each year, the Smithsonian brings tradition bearers, together with an audience of over 1 million people. Presenters accompany participants to the festival. It is their job to facilitate and enrich the conversation, to help illustrate and honor the lives of participants. The Smithsonian Folklife Festival is often called a magical event. If it is, it's a magic built on accumulated experience, hard work, scholarship, and attention to detail. Each festival program and its varied presentations requires months, sometimes years, of negotiation and collaboration.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
This kind of engagement doesn't end when the festival begins. In fact, it grows more intense, more necessary than ever.
I will at this time, with great pride, and as the senior congressman from the state of New Hampshire, officially open the 33rd annual Smithsonian Folklife Festival.
For participants and visitors, each festival day must be more rewarding than the one before. This can only happen if everyone in the cultural communication process, presenters, participants, and visitors, see themselves as engaged partners in a three-way conversation. The presenter shepherds this collaboration, and for this reason, many see the presenter's responsibilities as the most difficult of the festival. Each time we as presenters step to the microphone, we invite a new community to gather, creating a space for sharing and learning.
Where are you from?
The audience must see that they share responsibility for how things go. For without mutual participation, the community will dissolve.
I would like to invite Tenzin Barshila. He was to join us on this panel. He's a Tibetan who was brought up in Canada. He has had an experience.
Cultural knowledge is circulated. Mutual respect is built. All are reminded that in learning about others, we learn more about ourselves.
How do you define a Tibetan in the West, and what do you think is our future in the West?
Wow. I wasn't expecting this.
Maybe you can speak in French if you so like.
Well, I grew up in Canada, French Canada, a small town, about 40,000 people. And when we moved there, we were the only non-French Canadian. And that made me turn around and see, look who really I am. And wow, what a surprise. I was to see how rich culture my parents were coming from.
And the different colors have different meanings. The red ones and the white ones are for healing of different kinds of illnesses. But then don't get your hands on the black ones because they're used for other purposes, if you know what I mean.
A presenter will build these communities session to session across the 10 working days of the festival, all the while behaving in a natural way, without sounding preachy, and consistently evaluating her own performance.
I myself have my own special one here, and this is my patron. It's the Holy Cross, that one.
Self-evaluation is critical to building better communities.
Sige, thank you.
Some things to keep in mind.
How many of you have been down to see the other presentations from Iowa?
We as presenters act as ambassadors for the festival. We should share some of the event's history and philosophy, allowing the audience to better grasp the concept of cultural conversation.
The theme of our is how the state of Iowa presents community.
The festival exists to honor participants, to provide forums for participants to speak for themselves about their lives, their communities, their day-to-day experiences. We should encourage the audience to ask questions, to add information, to take part.
And people who have been coming for several days have seen and heard these instruments but haven't really had much of a chance to learn a little more about them. So we've invited a number of musicians.
Okay, my name is Rami Kuyate. I'm also jelly, but I like this word better than griot. And I would like to add something to what he said.
Presenters should do their best to move participants towards self-presentation.
She'll probably explain some of the meaning of the songs to you.
We should keep in mind that some participants are more willing than others to open up before a crowd.
Papa Aneli of the Aluku Maroons wanted to show us a little bit about this instrument. He'll play a little bit, and normally there's a song with it too, and then maybe he'll like to say a few words about it afterwards.
It's my pleasure to start this evening and bring up a wonderful family that we met a few years ago.
The presenter models behavior for the audience. This process begins in the introduction. We model for the audience the respect we have for the participant. This gives the audience the tools to do the same.
Working for the communities that they work in, and part of the work they do, part of the cultural work, is the restoration and preservation of a remarkable musical tradition.
But even at that time and in the subsequent years, I did not realize that there was a Gagaku ensemble. To me,
presenters should reveal to the audience how they became interested in the people, communities, and themes they're presenting. If we reveal the excitement of discovery we felt and still feel, the audience and participants will feel that energy.
So I was quite surprised and quite pleased.
And I asked her why. I said, why is that so important? And she said, well, if you plan...
Describe to the audience that you'll be learning just as they are learning.
This is important for your son's future. And of course, we did go out and plant a coconut tree for my son.
We've learned from the Japanese and the Chinese, and a lot of our joints and techniques were taken from these various places. And now it appears we're about to learn from the Romanians. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us.
The participants are also watching how we act toward the audience. They will model their behavior on ours. By knowing how to act, they will gain in confidence.
What do you have for breakfast? What do you have, young man?
We should work with ideas and concepts familiar to both the audience and participants, drawing each group into conversation. By doing so, we're saying that the responsibility for the session is shared.
Throughout Central America, we're going to make them tortillas.
Be prepared. If you did not do the field research on the participants, perhaps you are filling in for someone else. Meet with them ahead of time. Go over their backgrounds. Talk over repertoire. If your participants are musicians, what songs might they perform? In crafts, what techniques might they demonstrate? If they are cooks, what foods might they prepare? Listen for stories that could emerge from what they are sharing. In general, regular meetings between presenters and participants are crucial. Well before each session, ask participants what they would like to bring up. Participants have a vested interest in how they are represented. The best presenters keep this in mind at all times.
One of the things we want to emphasize, this stuff is all going on in Iowa today. This is not old dead stuff. This is what they do. Glenda's actually a social worker?
Presenters must create a space for interpretation, a frame.
This is very, very typical. We get the little girls out there. There's got to be flower girls. You know about flower girls. I see a bunch of married couples out there. So we've got flower girls. We've got the girls carrying the triumphal arch. Dolores has San Isidro back there. What we're going to do is practice. Everybody pull out your hymn. We make this world better by praying while we walk and thinking about, everybody think great thoughts about all those crops that are growing.
What is the natural environment for the event you're describing? What would the scene look like? Who would the participants likely be? What would the audience smell, taste, and hear? Drawing a word picture for the audience will also help participants attain the proper mindset.
Try to prepare for San Lorenzo in our community. What would happen is her family would be honored in verse. We would thank them for the time that they gave to the community.
We should place the event in a historical and cultural context, but must remember that festival sessions are not lectures. They're conversations. Briefly describe the themes of the program and how the session fits into those themes.
And usually in the communities, the priests from the different communities go out with the people and they bless with holy water the waters that are going through, but also the flowers as they flow onto the fields.
And another historical aspects, which I said,
we shouldn't overdo background information. First-time presenters sometimes try and do too much. The audience is transient. There are scores of competing events going on at any one time. Many in the audience will move from tent to tent, stopping to listen 15 minutes here and there. If they come away from your session with just 2 or 3 things, they must be meaningful things and insightful, arising from conversation, connecting the lives of the participants to the themes of the program.
The other problem, Cinda and Stephen, is that, you know, in South Africa, if it's done by a black, it's often considered as folk art, not real art.
Make sure participants know that the audience will wander in and out. You don't want this movement to hurt their confidence. Who is the audience? They are a mixed group. Half are likely to be area residents, the other half tourists to Washington, from across the U.S. and indeed from around the world. Most came specifically to attend the festival, but 1 in 5 did not. About half will have college degrees, 1/3 will be children, some will be scholars, students, and public officials. Many come back to the festival site several times. A good number browse, and many are very interested in a particular art form, a specific community, or an individual participant. Who are the participants? They're individuals first. They're not entire cultures. We should encourage them to relate their own opinions, their unique ways of seeing the world. The festival is multivocal. There are no scripts. Participants are never objects to be spoken about. This session on adornment did not go well. The presenter reduces the participant to a clothes hanger, then goes so far as to request a fashion show. We get no insights into creativity, no human stories or perspective from those who enact the culture.
Thank you very much, Madam Chief.
It's Tim Patridge, and I'm your presenter. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank goodness.
Every presenter has his own unique style. What the festival provides is a set of guidelines, presentation forms. It is up to each of us to work with and play within these forms, keeping in mind that the object of any session is to craft a rewarding experience for all. Style and method will depend on subject matter, also upon the response a presenter is getting from participants and the audience.
Watch Candace's fingers, they'll be smoking in a minute. I think we're probably in 2 now. 3, 4.
Let's look at presentation forms. Here are the most obvious: occupational demonstrations, craft demonstrations, music and dance, foodways, and narrative sessions. Forums for occupational demonstrations vary widely, from those involving large-scale activities, such as sheep herding and barn raising, to the more intimate settings demanded by blacksmithing or stone wall building. Typically, demonstrations illustrate one or more steps of a larger work process. Presenters place this demonstration within a larger context.
Timber framing is the technique that was used for the grand cathedrals of Europe. It was used to build the wonderful manor halls around Europe, the pagodas in Japan, and the temples. It was community that built our country. That is, groups of people, neighbors, friends, colleagues, helping each other out while they built barns, churches.
A presenter has to know the work and the knowledge and skill implicit within it. A working knowledge of the occupational jargon is necessary.
Is that large sections of timbers are assembled into units to be raised as single pieces rather than small sections or individual timbers that are placed into a frame one at a time. And so what you're going to be seeing today is uniquely American.
Many sessions find participants swapping stories and techniques with audience members familiar with the work. Personal stories illuminate work culture, daily and family life. We honor participants by focusing attention on their work and the importance of that work to their communities. Craft demonstrations are intimate by nature. Visitors can walk right up to the action, yet they often hesitate to speak with a participant if they see them busy at work. In this case, the participant becomes nothing more than a museum piece. Craft demonstrations are an opportunity for participants to share their aesthetic values, their art, stories, skill, knowledge, and creativity. Translation is often a key ingredient.
Then he's going to answer from his little part.
We as presenters should think of ourselves as hosting a party in our own living room.
A lot of people are surprised to learn that women built the houses. They thatched them, cut the wood, did everything. This is not a male.
We should challenge the audience. This is Monica Zwani from the Northeast region. She's cooking in the Foodways demonstration. Have you seen her cook? Mama Zwani, your mother taught you to build houses, didn't she?
Your daughters and your granddaughters, generation to generation.
Children are naturally attracted to crafts, where their parents are sometimes reluctant. If you bring in the children, the parents often follow. Allow for breath space, quiet moments with participants who don't like to speak much. Their hands will often speak for them. Participants work in their own rhythms, at their own speed. Many don't like being idle, and take their job at the festival very seriously. Remind them to take regular breaks, so they may experience the festival in other ways. Make sure from day one that participants have all the necessary supplies to show their skills to the public. Musicians and dancers are often used to self-presentation because what they do is more generally viewed as performance. If this is the case, presenters will act more as facilitators. However, they must still set the stage and set it within the context of the festival.
Now, this group was formed in 1989, a time which not very many people were talking about reconciliation and finding unity out of the different cultural communities in South Africa.
Where and when would this music most often be heard? Who would the audience be?
The stage was never really an historic place for this music. This was always music played in the community, not in a kind of a concert setting, but really within a wedding context.
You will see in some of the movements things that you all have traditionally thought were African American.
Is the festival audience familiar with the dance form? If not, the presenter or performer might compare it to a form they do know.
You will see some of Michael Jackson's moonwalk. You will see Dizzy Gillespie's Jaws playing the horn. You will recognize a lot of things which people thought were just contemporary or the last 300 years, which in fact have gone back even further. Thank you and God bless.
Up in New Hampshire, in the town we come from, in Canterbury, they didn't always dance there. It's a Baptist community, and they didn't always
Participants might not understand that what they offer the public is both entertainment and a learning experience. We should encourage them to talk about their everyday lives, their musical influences, the songs themselves. The audience should gain an understanding of what the music or dance means to the participants' community and culture.
That's our version of a cardiovascular workout.
We should give the audience clues about appropriate responses to music. If this were an audience back home, how would they show appreciation? Would they clap, sing along, dance?
You enjoying the show, folks? Thank you. The greatest gift that a musician takes is the applause of the audience, and we hope that you enjoy the show. It's our gift to you.
There is a program book, which I don't have in my hand. Who has a program book out there that they can hold up? See this program book? It's only $4.
There will be setup time between performances. You'll need to fill the gaps. Remind the audience there is a program book for sale, also crafts and other items in the sales tent. The performers may have tapes and CDs there. Most of the money from the sales tent goes back to the artists themselves, so it's important that visitors make the trip.
You will see a sales tent, and you should go and partake of all of the offerings there. You will find songs that have been passed on for hundreds, if not thousands of years inside of communities, from mothers to daughters and fathers to sons and mothers to sons.
This is also a time to acknowledge the support of sponsors and collaborating institutions. Their representatives may indeed be in the audience.
Thank you very much. Now you are alive. You are in Africa.
Many of a program's best moments come in the Foodways areas. Foodways sessions are a combination of demonstration and narrative. Audiences expect much more than a recipe. Deeper issues emerge: women's issues, immigrant issues, religion, examinations of family life, feast and festival days. The possibilities are endless.
Eating, unless there's a celebration, is a solitary activity. Basically, it's not a social time to eat and talk.
Because the conversation is what's important, portions of the dish may be assembled ahead of time, and it's no crime if the recipe gets rushed at the end. We should remember that cooking is not normally a performance genre. Participants may not be used to speaking in public. Be ready to add to what the participant is saying. Bring in other cultural information. Add context. Don't force the participant to carry the whole load. They have a lot to do and will need your help in some capacity.
I should mention that the language that is
narrative sessions take place on smaller, more intimate stages, where participants are physically close to the audience. Sessions bring together 3 or 4 participants to discuss a given issue based on their differences and their commonalities of perspective.
And Bruce said,
we should work to make them comfortable enough to carry much of the conversation on their own, to speak directly with each other. Remembering the names of the participants is important. This will make it easier for you to help the group compare and contrast what each member is saying.
Do any of you have any questions at this point? What we're doing is a session on speaking and calling.
We must engage the audience, ask them questions, search out opinions. Bringing them into the session will make it more rewarding for everyone.
You were taught how to put on an American face?
Yes, because they make us give that makeup, that Max Factor, and that's Max Factor makeup. And then we had to use foundation, whereas formerly we did not use any foundation at all, and we were made to believe that being very fair is very nice.
Examine the audience. Are they mostly older? Are they children? Some fellow participants. Nudge the conversation in directions, then include them.
This was not in the politically correct 1980s where you had bronze colors for dark-skinned people. This was in the 1940s and 50s where they assumed everybody was going to be white. And so my mother would go out to like church with this makeup on that was like for, you know, like some blonde. And it was very clear it was makeup, and then it stops right here. And of course, although, you know, the kids are cool, right? So we're all really embarrassed when we see a jeansma. And she says, no, because I want to make myself good looking for Americans, so they will see that we are also, and these are her terms, a civilized people. And so you can already see what this does to somebody like me that learns that being civilized is, in effect, not being Filipino. It means it being American.
Participants will count on you in other ways. You may have worked with them in the field. They see you every day at the festival. They will come to you with questions about the hotel, food, tours of Washington, bathrooms, all manner of things. Some participants may be unfamiliar with elevators, light switches, television. Getting answers will raise their comfort level. Not getting answers can ruin their festival experience. It's easy for participants to become homesick. All it might take to make them feel better is a few introductions, friendly conversation, or a phone call home. Watch for signs of this and other problems. Act quickly to solve them, or find help from other staff members. We hope this video has given you a worthwhile introduction to presenting at the festival. It covers a lot of ground. We understand you will have questions. read the presenter handbook. This document fleshes out much of what was touched upon here. If you still have questions, and you will, ask them of festival staff as early as possible. There is a long history behind the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. It has become a ritual for thousands of visitors. It has changed the lives of participants in profound ways, encouraged the research aims of field workers and presenters, inspired festivals like it the world over. But the festival is constantly evolving, recreated year after year by its participants, presenters, and visitors. Of course, there are guidelines based on experience and a knowledge of the audience, certain rules of engagement. But a playfulness runs through the festival, a willingness to exercise the festival format. Balancing these concepts keeps the festival on the cutting edge of public presentation. Thank you in advance for all your ideas and hard work.
Thank you so much. I think you're wonderful. Can you sing me your song from your school? Yes?